All right, all right, all right. Welcome to our special late night crypto talk tonight. My name is Brandon Ivey, Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule for being here. We're going to talk about something special tonight. The topic is going to be the river of money. But before I do that, let's take a quick snapshot look at what's going on in the crypto space tonight. Let's see, I did do crypto talk this morning and saw that the market has rebounding. But go ahead, type your name in the chat box where you're listening in from. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move. So first up, we've got, let's see, recognize some people that's here. I see Marnita, who just gave a great testimonial on our presentation tonight. Marnita Costa from Colorado. I see Neil Brooks, Richmond, Virginia. Jim Rabinski from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Janelle from Colorado. And Carrie from Los Angeles. Collie, is that what y'all in Colorado call Colorado? Collie? Like we say Cali? Michelle Page from Chicago. Faye Harris from Temecula. Renee, Maui, Hawaii. Welcome. Good evening. So, real snapshot on what the market is doing. I've seen a rebound since this morning. I see you, Provis from Corpus Christi, Texas. We've got 2.4 trillion as a market cap. It is up 4.5%. over the last 24 hours. This is really getting to me though. Bitcoin dominance has dropped to 38.6%. So the altcoins are moving strong. Ethereum represents 20% soon. Before it was just Bitcoin was 50, 60% of the market. Now it's going to be, we're going to look at a combination between Bitcoin and Ethereum being the majority of the market, or 50% of the market, and the other altcoins are the rest. So this is interesting. Fantastic, Neil. Glad you got that working. Bitcoin has gone back above 50,000. Let's see if you can hold or continue to climb. Ethereum is at 4,300. Reports though were thinking that Ethereum might go as low as 3,600 to 3,800. So I don't know if this is a false bounce that we still got to come back down a little bit more. In one of my courses, I teach by the dip, and looking at this, 1, 2, there will be a third dip, but this second dip is not as low as this primary dip. So it looks to come back a bit. Same with Bitcoin and Ethereum. It didn't go lower than the first dip. So I don't know on this one. That's why I'm looking at it tonight. Binance coin is up 6.8, Solana 0.6, Cardano 5.1, Polkadot 3.2, Avalanche is up 10%. Hey, did I just buy this morning? I did it live in front of you guys. I bought it this morning and it is up 10%. That's what I'm talking about. Made money on that one. Matic goes up 15%. Who's the best performer so far the past 24 hours? Who's bouncing back? BitTorrent, Bitcoin SV, Loopring, Matic, Link, Avalanche. Crypto.com is back up 9.4. Phantom, BAT, Chiliz, EOS, Harmony, Flow, Binance Engine, Airweave, Hedera, AMP, NEM, Cadena, Shiba, Stack. So this is pretty healthy. Bounce back. But can it keep going, or will it run out of steam? Will the panic sellers continue to sell? I see you, my man Stan Williams and Lanu. Who is not bouncing back? Bitcoin Cash ABC is still dropping. Thorchain, AV, Kusama, Olympus, Algorand. And I just bought this one the other day. CRV, but not by much, only 1.1. Axie Infinity. What about Wakanda? We're watching Wakanda. They crossed 100,000 holders. Oh, it's dropped a bit. Oh, it dropped a lot. These people sold. It's dropped 6%. It was up here earlier today, this morning. So we see a big drop. Let's see all the sell orders. Not too bad. People selling half a bit BNB, 0.8 BNB. This one sold 1.1 BNB. So not too bad. I'll see what this is going to look like in the morning. So saying all that, we have a quick snapshot of what the market is. We'll look right back at this again when we're finished with our late night crypto talk. And the topic for tonight is the river of money. Now, there's a series that I do. I don't do it as often as I should, called Money is Energy. And I've been doing that, wow, for 10 years. Before I was Bitcoin Brandon, I was the mindset business coach. When I finally had my aha moment, and my entire business career changed literally almost overnight. I went from having 10 years of no real major success, frustration, and everything, and working my butt off. One of the hardest workers out there, and wasn't getting the results. Then when I figured it out and had the aha moment, and I understood what money is, because money is nothing but energy. Once I understood the whole concept between money, what it is, how it's used, how people think about it, and the physiology and the laws of the universe, the secret, once I figured all that stuff out, everything has been, I don't want to say the word easy, but simple. It's been simple. It's like I got it. And success, we still have ups and downs, but it's been phenomenal the last 10 years. And in Bitcoin and crypto, a part of that series of Money is Energy is the river of money. One of the reasons why most people cannot make money is because they don't understand where money is being generated, or better yet, they're putting most of their time and effort in a direction where there is no flow of money. They're acting as if money is scarce. There's a scarcity of it, and they're out there trying to, find the money. And whatever career they're in, whatever they're doing, when you wake up in the morning till you go to sleep, there isn't much money in that area, in that field. So the first thing you need to do is identify, where is the money? It will never run out. That is a myth, that you have to compete with somebody else over limited resources. Resources are unlimited. Unlimited. There's enough resources where every single man, woman, and child can live like a millionaire on this planet. Unlimited resources. You just got to know where to go to get it. And that the resources that might be prevalent in one area can change. What was good yesterday may not be the same area tomorrow. And the ability to adapt to that change. Have you ever heard of the Industrial Revolution? In school, we learn mostly about the third industrial revolution, which was around the turn of the century, between the years 1880 and 1929, somewhere around there, before we had the Great Depression and all that. But when America after World War I became, a real superpower in the world, and the oil tycoons, we've read about the gold rush, we've read about the real estate boom. There's been times in history where money was flowing. New money. Back in the day, they called it new money. If you ever watch the movie Titanic, and you hear about the unsinkable Molly Brown, that she was just as wealthy, if not more, than the other rich people on the Titanic. But she was considered new money by them, not generational wealth passed down from family to family over the centuries. You know, she got her riches from America in the oil fields and whatnot. So as time moves on, technology changes, and where money is flowing changes. The great families of the world have been able to adopt and adapt to the changing times in the economy of where the money is going. Now, money acts like a river. It acts like a river. And whenever, if you want to stop, there's no stopping the river. You can try to dam it up, but it just changes course. What Bruce Lee always says, you know, move like the river, move like water. Money moves, is never in a straight line. Never in a straight line. So I got to use this analogy because this is the analogy that I heard that made sense to me. It's like, okay, I understand that. I understand that. That's what, when you go to school, you go to college, you want to pick an industry where you can make the most money. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter really today because people who make the most money don't have college degrees. They think outside the box. But are you in a position where a lot of money is being generated? And if not, where? And I'm telling you right now, the new money, the fourth industrial revolution, Web 3.0, the next version of the internet, cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. The greatest. I'm going to come back to that in a second. After you understand the river. Have you ever seen the movie Finding Nemo? When my oldest, he just turned freaking 23 years old last week. When he was a kid and Finding Nemo came out, that was our favorite movie. I think I took him to the movie theater 2 or 3 times to see that movie. And then we got the DVD and everything. Or back then it was was it VHS tape? I don't remember if well, somewhere in there, VHS or DVD, we got it. And in this movie, there's something called the North Atlantic Current, where in the ocean, there's currents that move, a body of water that moves faster than the surrounding water. You know, like a riptide. If you've ever been caught in a riptide, it's one of the most scariest things. I got caught in a riptide only that I can remember once in my life, and I was an adult. It was in spring break in Florida. I forgot what city we were in, but I got caught in a riptide. And I'm a trained lifeguard. Had I not known what was happening and what to do, I would have easily drowned. Because you cannot swim. Yeah, I don't care if you're Michael Phelps. You are not stronger than the ocean. You are not stronger than a riptide. If it pulls you, all you can do is ride. You get pulled. And just for safety reasons, if you ever get caught in a riptide, and all that means is if you're out in the water and all of a sudden you feel a bunch of water just drag you, start pushing you, do not attempt to swim against it. You will lose. What you can do, if you know how to float on your back, but a lot of times you may be caught underneath the water. Swim at a diagonal angle, sideways, out of it. Think of it like if a boulder was rolling down the hill towards you. Are you going to turn around and run in the direction or the same direction where the boulder is rolling? Or are you going to go sideways? That's why I hated that movie. What was it, Prometheus or something? The girl's running and the thing's rolling like this, and all she had to do was jump left to right. No, she runs straight and it rolls over her. I never understood that. Anyways, swim to your left or your right. But in the movie, Finding Nemo, the fastest way they were trying to get to, I don't know, what was it, Australia or something, they had to ride the North Atlantic Current. And there were a bunch of turtles that they, sat on the turtles and rode with the turtles. And then when you got to your point where you wanted to exit, you jumped out of the river. But the river would twist and turn and move and go, and it goes. And sometimes it changes direction. Money works the same exact way. It works the same exact way. So there is no scarcity of it. But there is not a lot of people have a lot of access to it. Most people don't have access to where the real money is. You want to know why? See, wealthy people, I want you to think about any river. This is how you get your money. Wealthy people have oil tankers, big mega yachts. And they've got those suckers sitting in the middle of the river where it's the deepest. And imagine fish is the money. And they've got the biggest fishing nets and trawlers, and they're hauling up all this money. Now, depending on your own personal resources, determines how big is your fishing net to capture the fish. And so if you have not a billionaire, you're a millionaire, you got a smaller yacht or a speedboat, but you're still out there in the middle of the water. Your net's just not as big as the billionaire's net. But where the vast majority of people are, the vast majority of people are on the banks of the river. They can't afford boats to actually go out where the deep water is. They're on the banks of the river and they have fishing poles. And this is your 9-to-5 job. Swinging that pole out there, trying to get one fish at a time. That's your weekly paycheck. You don't have a bigger net to get multiple fish, just one at a time. And it's crowded because 95% of all humanity is on the banks of the river. And you're bumping elbows with each other, trying to get your spot to just keep doing this. But then all of a sudden, the river decides to change direction. It changes direction. Now, the billionaires and the millionaires are able to see that the river's changing course before you. They don't want it to change course. They dropped their anchor in the middle of the ocean or the river, hauling up their fish, but they see, oh, wow, this thing's moving course. Either we sit here and just wait till this part dries up, or we move with the river. So you know what the wealthy people do? They pull up their anchor and they just float in the new direction of money, where the new river is flowing. It was going this way, now it's going this way. And all they do is pull up anchor and they go this way. They follow the river. But to all of us that don't have boats, and you're on the banks of the river, you can't see what the billionaire sees. But to us, the river dries up. And now you know, wait, whoa, where's the water going? So now you're trying to step out there, you're stepping in mud water, you're getting stuck, you can't take any more steps, and you're trying to throw that fishing pole further out, and then other people are crowding you because there's only puddles left where the fish are, and now you're all crowded on the puddles, and you're fighting for this limited resource because everything else dried up, and you're saying, where did my jobs go? Where did the coal go? Where did the economy go? It dried up. There's no more money. Times are hard. Inflation. Bring the river back. Tell the government, bring the river back. When it's changed. And we never see that change. And over history, there's been major times where the river has drastically changed course. And right now, we are at the beginning of a drastic shift in the river of money changing course right before our eyes. This didn't happen for our parents. This, and I say opportunity. This opportunity wasn't here for our parents. It wasn't here for our grandparents. My grandparents represent the greatest generation of Americans, the World War II generation. Senator Bob Dole just died yesterday. He represents that generation, 98 years old. My grandmother passed away almost 2 years ago. She was 99 years old last year. Oh my gosh, 99 years old. My grandmother passed away. And my other grandmother passed away 2 months after that. She was 93. That generation saw some things that we never saw, but they never had the type of opportunity that we have, that those of us that's alive today have right now. The last time an opportunity like this that was kind of similar was my great grandparents' generation. My great, because my great grandmother passed away at 99 also, and that was 20 something, 30, almost 30 years ago. She was 99. Wow, she'd be 130 something right now if she was still alive. If she was born in 1902, then her daddy was born, my great grandfather, 18, because he was the first full generation born that wasn't a slave. Great granddaddy, 1870 or 1880 something. Wow, you're amazed that it hasn't been that long ago. But because of the color of our skin, my ancestors weren't allowed to participate in that great transfer of wealth. They weren't allowed to participate at that time. Others with a different skin color were. If you have a different skin color, did your ancestors take advantage of that opportunity? Your lifestyle today will dictate if that answer is yes or no. If you're dead broke right now, no, your ancestors didn't take advantage of that opportunity. So we fast forward 110 years later, 120 years later, and now the opportunity has presented itself again. Oh, wow, another one of my cousins just came on. What's going on, Maisha? And now this opportunity is here again, but it has never been like before. Never been this big before in history. I am very big on legacy. I'm looking at, what am I going to leave my children? How am I going to represent my family? What are my grandkids and great grandkids going to say about me in the future? And the thing about us living where we do today is there's social media. Our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren will be able to see our faces, see who we are, what we look. How many of you know exactly what your great-grandma looked like? How many of you know what they sound like? One of the things that bothers me the most is my grandfather. He was a very, very mild, soft-spoken man, very quiet and humble. He passed away when I was in college. I remember all my conversations with him. What I have a hard time remembering, though, is the sound of his voice. And that bothers me. My other grandpa passed away years before. Mine, Maisha's. Our grandpa, Jesse Lee Robinson from Shreveport, Louisiana. I remember his voice like it's in my head right now. In fact, her son, her middle son, looks just like my grandpa, his great grandpa. I remember his voice like it's yesterday. Like he was just talking to me yesterday, because he was really outspoken, very boisterous, always had a lot to say. Our great-great-grandchildren aren't going to have that problem, because we have videos today. We have audio recordings. We have Facebook and Twitter. They will know what you had for dinner last night. They'll know you when you went to Vegas and what you was doing. I am so glad there was no video. Well, there was videos, but no social media. In the 90s, when I was in college, Freaknik and all that, Daytona Beach, that's where I was when I almost drowned. Daytona Beach, Florida. Spring break. Oh, I'm definitely glad there's no videos of me down there. Woo. But now your entire life is being documented and recorded. So when future generations are reading through history and seeing, wow, the fourth great industrial revolution, this whole cryptocurrency thing, the river of money shifted. There was no barrier of entry. It didn't matter the color of your skin, your education, your race, your sex, your religion. Doesn't matter what language you speak, if you got money in the bank or not. None of that matters. Nobody is there to hold you back. Racism is non-existent in this space. You can have, become, do whatever you want based on how much you think and how hard you're willing to work. And if you have a cell phone, and every single person has a cell phone, I can drive down downtown LA right now, go through Skid Row and see a whole bunch of digital lights because even the homeless have cell phones. There is absolutely no excuse, none, period. And I will be damned to have my great grandkids say, oh, granddaddy was all some BS back then. He wasn't really doing nothing. He was working hard and paying the bills for his family. That's good, but as far as taking advantage of the greatest economic shift in wealth, he wasn't about that. In fact, he thought it was a scam. He said that Bitcoin thing ain't going to do nothing. It's not going to go anywhere. That's why we broke. So the river of money is shifting, and now it's being available to every single man, woman, and child on the planet. How big is your fishing pole? Are you paying attention? Are you going to position yourself to take advantage? The river of money will be facing in this direction for a very long time. For a very long time, but it's going to be also be dependent on where you stake your position. Is going to be very, very important. What you do today will determine what your family tree can look like over the next 75 years, the rest of this century. I'm 45. I seriously doubt I'll be alive for another 75 years. However, I can project what my descendants and make sure that they will be okay and have enough resources. Understand, I didn't say money. I said resources. And that will be for another late night crypto talk when we talk about money is energy. Another reason why a lot of people are broke is because they don't even know what money is. In their mind and what they've been taught, money is just something that I use to pay my bills and buy food and groceries. It is far, far more than that. But that's our daily hustle. That's all we know. Money is not taught in school, how it works, what it is. And it's done that way for a reason. It's done that way on purpose, that you're not taught about money. You have to self-teach yourself or make sure you're a part of groups or communities or certain families that teach this. But that's going to be a topic for another late night crypto talk. So that is the river of money. Over the centuries, it always changes course. And it's changing course right now. And we all have an opportunity to get on this river before the masses do and change our family tree. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you learned something new. As always, that's the point. If you guys ever have any topics that you'd like me to cover in late night crypto talk, send me a message and I'll put it on the queue and the list to see. Let's see, this is our third one. The first one was how $1,000 could change your life. The second one was, what was the second one again? I know it had something to do with mindset. Oh man, I'm getting old now. We just did it last week. I did it for like an hour and a half. And the third one, somebody typed out for me. What was the second one we did? And the third one is what we just did tonight. The river of money. Let's see. Marnita, what did we talk about last time? $1,000. I know it has something to do with mindset. Oh, poverty, poor mindset. There you go. It was about poor mindset, poor versus broke. Broke mindset versus poor mindset. There's a difference. Yeah, that's one of my best. So I'll be back. Maybe today is Monday. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, so we'll be celebrating that tomorrow night. Wednesday night, maybe. If I get a good topic, then we'll do one Wednesday night, or I might only do this once a week. We'll see. So with that, you guys enjoy yourself. Christmas is right around the corner. A brand new year is right around the corner. Take care, everybody. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.